Alright, for some reason, the Heat can get hot against the Celts, and players that aren't usually proficient at shooting are somehow lighting it up from deep. Their 3-ball was the obvious difference in the game, but a lot of that was just Tyler's playmaking and manipulating that two-man game with Bam. The Celts bigs loved to play in a drop. That gave Tyler all the space to eat up getting downhill, and he just made the right read every time. Even though he only put up 6 shots in the first half, he was moving way too freely, and just giving him that much comfort made him a threat, so he just used his gravity to open up their entire offense. Some of that was also Bam's screens just knocking defenders off balance, and it's a subtle detail, but those add up. The Celtics just had instances of overhelping, messing up switches, ball watching that led to late rotations or closeouts, and I can understand their defensive game plan is to have the Heat shoot, but at some point, they just had to run them off the line. When the Heat were forced to drive, they couldn't finish at all, and the only inside presence they had was Bam in the post. They somehow had more trays than lays, but of course, Joe Mazzulla decided not to adjust, and it cost him in the third. That 20-5 run with 9.5 minutes remaining was the game-winning stretch for the Heat, and they controlled the rest of the night. But as good as their offense was, their defense was just as good, and their physicality was a big contrast compared to how the Celtics were playing them. They were up on bodies, switching aggressively, closing out hard, and this stretch was a perfect example to display this contrast. It took until the fourth before the Celtics decided to sell on Tyler, but the Heat already had a rhythm, so it was just too late, and the Celtics just seemed unprepared. I don't know how that's possible considering their history, but I think it just comes down to the Heat being the more disciplined team and always forcing opponents to play their style of ball. The Celtics just aren't comfortable playing these muddied games and prefer to rely on their talent to win, so that's where the stylistic issues stem from. Kristaps can't get bullied by the Heat's guards on mismatches and have his only bucket be a tip dunk if they want to win. Just watch the tape.
And it's good!